got a new arrangement here, huh? Yeah, rank and file. All right, y'all may be seated. It's a nice decoration. How's everyone? Dr. Marvin got 4 wives. Well, I most certainly hope that you all get something from this. We are about to really be seen, and there's nothing stronger in creation than the family. And the binding method that holds family together is the open expression of truth. Can you all hear me? Whenever there is a disagreement between you all and there is a compromising of truth, you're going to experience some disappointment. Whenever you compromise with the truth and the expression of it, you're leaving all of the divinity out of your marriage. We often speak about keep Allah first, and that's true on your journey back to your first love, which is truth. Isn't that what the book reads? You want to read that, Brother Minister? The black man is to return back to his first love. And when you were in your first love, there were no such thing as mentioning Allah. Because that would have relegated truth down to a particular person, making you think small-minded. I really hope that you understand what's being said. When this practice is carried out, no one has to ask, are you married, or are you right, or are you godly? It automatically shows, automatically. What I and those that are really with me have done or is doing is providing an opportunity for those of you that are married and considered to be one to actually show yourself as being one with God. Since it's already written, you calling your wife? Since it's already written that marriage is to become like one, if those of you that are men actually are married to me, then you and I become one. And it is written in these terms in the book or Bible. When you see me, you see God. You know what I write? I read. So when the marriage takes place, this should be automatically accepted or be a reality of why you married, to become one. Now, one with who? Is the man supposed to be one with his wife? Well, that's what has been taking place on our journey back to our first love. You cannot serve no two masters. You can't serve Allah and serve your wife as though she is Allah. I serve you, you serve them. I, being the male, gender, or man, I serve you as being God. And to allow you to take on the same practice as me, I give you someone that you serve, but not in such a way where they tell you what to serve them. And sisters, if you truly are married to your husband, marriage means that you have to think the way he thinks. If that's an unacceptable practice, then you're not really married. You may be together as persons, but you're not married. Do you think or believe using myself or utilizing myself as an example, the wives that are with me, do you think they would still be with me if they didn't think like me? No, sir. I don't think like them. However, I don't ignore their thoughts either. If there's going to be any oneness or unity, there's got to be a method where truth can ratify itself as being that, and that's what you move on. What I have found in most of the complaints that come to me is that the brothers always leaves the divinity out of the conversation or relationship. What I have found and what I have witnessed, the brothers usually want the wives to serve them based on just them. That would be fine if they were able to show the wife the formula of which makes them tick. Shall I say that again? There's no way that a oneness can be achieved if the thinking of either one of you all is in the way of what we are equal. And by nature, you know that's not right. If you were equal, there'd be no need to be married. Both of you could abstain or take care of yourself without any help or need of anyone else, even friendship. I hope you're listening. You all that are here, and those of you that actually are listening in, according to what or how the system is set up, to be with me, you have to agree. You have to volunteer. So those of you that I'm looking at, all of you supposed to have volunteered to be with me. And my duty is to make sure that I share with you everything that will work if you apply it. Ever since I put out the warning to the sisters, I've had more calls from you all that is still worshiping Satan of difficulties that you're having in your marriage. That's crazy. Unless you are still allowing Satan to be your teacher. Are you listening? Should I explain it more clearer? Jesus said it this way: if you are my Father, or if you were with me, you'd be of my Father and his Father's work. Something of that sort. He's talking to another individual. He's not talking just to the wind. He's talking to another individual that breathes just like he does, walks and talks just like he does. And if you didn't have an innate knowledge to know, you would think the person he was talking to is just like him, which he thought for a while. But come to find out, he says, you're not of me. You don't love me, because if you did, you would be of my Father. But you're not of me. You're of your father, the devil. And he should have known then. Or we can determine by that statement, he didn't know about Satan. He only knew about what he was looking at. Really, they're the children of Satan. You need to think. I mean, really think. If each person take your particular natural role in life, you would experience life. Don't worry about who's leaving. You keep listening to this. When you refuse to use the formula of truth, there's got to be something that stimulates that. And since if you all have learned anything that I've been teaching, we know what that is. It's Satan. Anyone that has any problems that goes outside of your home, where others get word of it or wind of it or see it, whoever is the perpetrator of it is not with me. You may say, I'm with Father in your mind, but in your actions, you're not. If I'm clear, there are 12 particular females that I'm responsible for personally. 12. If I did not take the responsibility of just being me, not try to be one of them, not try to please them by being other than me because that's what they want, it will be total chaos. Katrina would be nothing to that. You need to understand what I'm saying. Because life is really a wonderful thing to experience. Wonderful. But this other element that keeps coming between you all, and once in a while try to creep in to my home, you have to know how to abort that, to protect yourself and your family from that. I'm talking to the brothers and the mothers as far as being mothers to children. You know, children are always challenging you as to making sure that you are making them be right, or in a sense of teaching them what is right. Is that right? There's not too much right there, is it? Well, it's the same thing with us as fathers or men. You all make sure that you occupy quite a bit of our time making sure that you are right. But then the brothers that have all the trouble, they never interject me. And I'm saying me because we're seeing a lot at this particular juncture. It will become a time, but you won't mention that. We just haven't got to that yet. If I were not crystal clear on what is taking place, I could easily say, well, you all are using me as an excuse. Meaning that you look at me, I'm worshiping Father. I'm with Father. But not really. If you're really with me, you would think like me. So much so that you become like me, therefore having no need for me. It reads that. The prophets or angels or scientists were saying, I don't know what it's going to be like, but they're all going to be like him. You want to read that, Brother Minister? Well, this is what is supposed to be happening. You all are too warm or something? I see you wandering. Some of your attention is wandering off into Pluto someplace. Is your wife distracting you? If I ask you a question, will you answer it honestly? And if you're unable to do that, don't answer. It's a little personal. And usually if you're buddies with Satan, you never want that to be known. Let me say that again. Satan never wants to be discovered. He never wants to be pointed out. He always wants to point out God doing something wrong. So if what I'm about to ask fits you and you don't answer, you don't raise your hand, it could very well be that you're with Satan. Because you don't want no one else to know it. Because it's in a public setting, so to say. You want to know what the question is? Is your husband listening to the team? Okay, well, he already knows all this, right? Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I'm quite sure you're going to tell him, right? Yes, ma'am. Which one of you all, or how many of you all think that you are, or know that you are with the wrong wife or wrong husband? Would you count them, baby? Raise your hands up. You count them? How many do you count? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. What's wrong with you? So 9, all right, you all can put your hands down. I would like for one of you all that did raise, it was male and female that did raise your hand. You don't have to announce your name. I would like for you to come to the mic and express to me, what is it that makes you to believe or know you're not properly matched? Who wants to take that challenge? All of you? All right. We'll go with brother mighty man back there first. Come on up to the mic, quick, fast, and in a hurry like an FOI. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, sir. Listen at this very carefully. This is an exercise that may bring peace to you that you've been looking for and ignoring the formula of it. Yes, sir. You may proceed.
Yes, sir. I don't think she is my wife because of the difficulty she had and thinking the way that I think. And whenever there's a scenario or a problem, and I come with a solution, she needs to check it with someone else before she would submit to it. So I explained to her that she's not actually submitting to me. She actually checking everything that I do and submitting to someone else. And she never actually gets to me. And that happens often.
Well, in your explanation, is it divine or is it just mathematical?
It's just mathematical.
Just mathematical?
Yes, sir.
Anybody else like that? In other words, in your conversing with your wife or your wife with you, in your explanations, is it divine or is it just mathematical? Just mathematical? Raise your hand if it's just mathematical. All right. Is there anyone here that can tell the difference between mathematical and divine? Okay, would you come to the mic? I'm purposely not calling names because those that are listening in that are not here, they won't have nothing to chew on as far as a person, because this is not about a person. This is about a formula that brings about peace. That's all that is need to be known. You all have the privilege to see who it is, but there's many people who will learn from this. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. By it being divine, it goes right to the absolute essence of truth.
All right. That's it?
That's it.
All right. Anybody else? Or you agree with that? Well, what is the difference between mathematical and the essence of truth? Isn't math at the essence of truth? What's the difference? Is there a difference?
No, sir.
So we have what do you call it, paradox or catch-22 here, or?
No, sir.
So everybody agrees that math is the essence and the divinity or divine is the essence also. So is the brother correct in his analysis? Or is there something else that has to be added here? Who knows what it is? Let's hear from the brother in black. Is that black you got on? Or blue? Blue? Yes, sir. Let's hear from the spiritual brother here. What's the difference? Should I go over it again? Okay, big rascals too. What's the difference between, I'll say, supreme mathematics and the use of it for the expression of truth and the divinity of an expression of mathematics? What's the difference? Do you know?
Yes, sir, Father. The divinity of mathematics is math coupled along with the why or the spiritual of a thing. Meaning you're starting from the why of it. The supreme mathematics is basically 1 + 1 equals or is 2. Or the difference between right and wrong. Proving it using the facts of a thing. Somewhat are excluding the why of it or the spiritual or the idea of it.
That's it?
Yes, sir.
Pretty good. So you all agree? So is that what you do in your home?
At times, yes, sir, Father.
At times.
Yes, sir.
Is your wife here?
Yes, sir.
You think she would agree with that?
Yes, sir.
She would. Want to take a dry run test? Are you that confident, huh?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Should we go on or should we? Y'all can be seated. Are you for this test? Yes, ma'am. We'll come forth and test him. You stand back because I don't want you to intimidate nobody. Back up a little bit. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Go ahead.
Yes, sir, Father. To answer the question, Father, no, sir. That's not how things are usually expressed.
Yes, ma'am. So, did he fail the test? I didn't ask for nobody else to come up and bear witness. I asked the one that he said would bear witness. And she didn't say what he said. So what is wrong with that picture? You may be seated.
Yes, sir.
Thanks for your answer. Or you wanted me to ask you some more hard questions?
If you like. Yes, sir.
No, ma'am, that'll suffice. That's very good.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. You want to hand that to your very thoughtful husband?
Yes, sir.
It's one thing to know something. It's another thing to implement it.
Yes, sir.
And a lot of times, I've come across people that speak with me, and they don't really come out with everything that they're saying, although they're thinking it, and because they thought it, they think they said it. You know, because they thought it, and it was so real, I must have said it to Father. Then when we question them, oh, I meant to say, I know what you meant, but you didn't say it. I thought sure I said it, but you didn't. This is a dangerous thing that causes quite a few divorces. When you truly think you're doing something and you haven't, then the argument is so compelling and so forceful that the person that you're arguing with, you drown them out. You stomp them out. You divide them away from you. You kill them. And the more this takes place, the more you're coming up how right you are, how wrong they are for taking it that way. Get my drift?
Oh, yes, sir, Father.
And usually it comes from the brother. If he's going to be half of a man, that comes from him. There is no sister that I know of that will argue with me and win if she's wrong. And I'm not going to do it in such a way where when we part, she feels less than a human being. Or like I murdered her. And it was something else that I heard that was very disturbing about the last meeting we had, I think it was last Tuesday. Was someone making a statement that I was yelling at a sister? Was I doing that?
No, sir.
Are you saying no, sir, because I'm before you? Well, who thought I was yelling? All right, well, maybe that's just a rumor. Okay, you may be seated.
Yes, sir.
Anybody learn anything from that? Well, would you like to maybe hear what my definition is? When divinity is in the expression of truth in a mathematical way, it shows the origin or the beginning of power of truth that goes beyond your present station here on earth. In other words, you're relying on something to bring it forth that was in motion before you were born. Just using mathematics, that may fit just the time that you're doing it. It don't go back beyond you. It just depends upon your ability to use the math at that particular time for the time that you're using it. Like a lot of people say, well, they are historians and they want to base their argument on what should take place and what should not take place according to history. But it ain't got nothing to do with nature. Nature come before history. Is that right? So that's the difference in using mathematics in a divine way. You use it in such a way where the person that you're using it with, for, or to, or against can see there's a power that you're using before you were born that's already established itself. Not just a rhythm of knowing how to use facts. Facts and the plain use of mathematical thinking does not necessarily touch your entity or soul. When it is used in a divine way, that same power that makes it divine is in you, and it relates to each other, and it puts a halt to foolishness. Now you see the person that's bringing the argument to you, or just maybe defending himself with that kind of argument. Now you see to come against that is coming against creation, and you back up. See the difference? Well, I'm a prime example of the use of it because of the 12 that's in my charge. I can expect brothers to rationalize with me because they have God in them, or they are God. They are the created. So the formula of this divine is already there. The sisters are made because of the divine with the proper use of the math. So when you use the divine in all aspects of your communication with your wife, whether it's making love, whether it's arguing, whether you're just agreeing, when the divine is there, they have no defense against you. Is this being understood? Well, if the sisters don't, when you get home, ask your husbands. And if he's unable to explain it to you, put him out. You got to go. Don't do that right away, though. Are you understand what's being said, brothers? It makes you look very, very weak to have a wife or two wives or more, and there's a constant ripple of chaos confusion, dislike, disharmony. That should not be if you're with me. That should not be. And if you are carrying yourself and your thoughts in that divine manner, because if you're going to be God, in Satan's world, if you're going to be God, you have always got to be divine in your thinking and in your actions, always. Now, it determines on how much you're going to utilize it based on the circumstance that you want to master. You don't have to be divine so much that you're so pious or that you got to be a minister or a preacher. Whatever the situation calls for, that's what should be first. And then anything else added to that. Even if anger comes up, it's still a divine way. If God himself say, I'm more than angry, he said, I'm furious with this world. And mainly my people, I'm furious with that. Because I didn't come after Satan nor the devil. I came from my own. And they rejected me. So for that I'm furious. However, in a divine way. If you're going to be God's and take this planet back, and you're going to represent truth and the rhythm of it and the power of it, you have got to do this. You cannot walk around knowing it and not doing it. There is no woman in here that can resist a real brother unless she is absolutely demonic. And then that will become so clear that there will be no apprehension in letting them go or her wanting to go or leaving. Otherwise, there will be no sorry. Oh, she is gone. She is gone. Or he. How many of you all are looking to be married, but you're in a courtship or, that got you in this particular meeting, but you really don't have a husband? 3 people? That's it? 5? My eyes are deceiving me. I see 1, 2, 3. Oh, yes, sir. All right. Oh, okay. What you are witnessing or hearing, you have somewhat of an advantage over those that are already married. You can start to practice this now. So in your interviews, your 30-day on the phone and so forth and whatnot, everything can be lovey-dovey. In other words, you can set the stage. You can determine what will happen because of what you have put down for a foundation. Not wait to get hooked up and see what's going to happen. It don't work that way. I can tell you because I've done it and I'm doing it. And I'm sharing what I have with you to make sure you be successful. Every civilized man has a rush of pleasure when he sees a married couple that's really married. You know why? You know what he really sees? And if I'm correct, brothers, you can bear me witness. The first thing he sees is God, love, peace, and power. Maybe I need to explain that. To see a real marriage or a couple that's married, for real, the first thing God sees, harmony. And you can't have harmony if it's not peace. So if you have peace, you're not looking for anything. You've got all the schematics for everything. Like the book reads, they're the peacemakers, the children of God. The meek shall inherit the earth. This is what we see. A man now that has power, because with him he has his equalizer. And they are together, knowing their place and performing it. That's power. That automatically makes the enemy halt before he comes with any kind of opposition to that. He got to check you out first. Wait a minute. If I come against this, I got to be more than right. And we know that's true because Satan's most powerful tool is separation. Divide and conquer. Is that right, brother? Most sisters, by nature, can pick up on division before the brothers. Are you listening, brothers? These are keys that you need to employ. Not just know it, you got to employ this. I've shared with you more than once. Sisters have a natural ability about them to detect danger more readily than the brothers do. Because they always have to be in the framework of being protected. So one of their worst fears after being married, even if there's more than just one of them in the family while they're growing up, their worst fear is competition from their brother or sister. So usually in this world, they always employ something to make sure that they can divide the attention up between their parents and the other brothers and sisters so they can become number one. That is something with a sister is something that's very, very dangerous, at the same time precious to them. It's dangerous because they always try to see if there is any division, because if it is, then worry comes in. The protection is gone. All of the things that they are to be free of, now they see the doors open for it to come in. So that is very, very dangerous. So when you come home or leave home or while you're at home and your attitude is not right, your thoughts are not right, and they see it's not right to what they know right is to be, right away they know, division is coming in. I am no longer secure. My protection now is limited. All because of you, brother. They are not your makers. And you know, as water does, if it's moving, it's always got to either go in a circle or backwards and forward. If it's just sitting still, it's there to be used very quickly. If not, it becomes rancid. All other kind of things will grow into it. It becomes so dirty that it's unusable. It would have to go through a filtration system. Is that right? Am I down to earth with this? You understand what's being said, brothers? These are keys that will make your marriage work. Now, if you already know you're with the wrong person and that's it, both of you all agree that it's wrong, you don't gel, nothing is comfortable with you, well, then let it go. However, it should be for the reason that this actually is taking place. Now that you know what rhythm really is, how to be divine in your living, your thoughts and how you live, when you really, really know that, that's what you should seek for. If what you have, you know it's not going to be, you can't get it, you've tried it, It's already been determined. There's no question about it on both parties. Well, then quit. Divide. Leave. Divorce. Go get someone that is like that. Since we have someone for everybody. And we know that's true. Didn't we give the devil somebody? We give the Chinese somebody? The Japanese and the Indian? So there's somebody for you. However, what I'm saying, regardless to who you get, you're going to have to express divinity. We're doing quite a few rearranging members for different spots around the country based on what they have shown of what they will do and what they have done right here in heaven. And, and this is the way it's done in real heaven. You were dispersed here on the earth from the same process. So you don't get spooky and think, There is a need for heavenly people in this hellish condition. And there are a few of you all that have shown that you might fit that need. And it's not because we have not considered your wife or your husband. That always comes into the equation. However, the need always overrides the want. I want to see the brother and sister together as husband and wife, and both be dispatched to wherever they're needed. However, usually, that's not the case. The brother is ever so right and the sister is ever so You get the drift? However, just the word need. The black man needs to be saved. You need a place for your children. Matter of fact, you need a place. But just because you're living, you have the ability to bring in life that has not yet got here. So why should me, Allah, the scientists, the ones that rule the planet, allow you to bring someone in something that is not going to change, that we are totally against, and time backs us up to get rid of it? So would we be in our right place to answer the need instead of the want? Or should we consider the want over the need? Where's the harmony here with the answer? Are you all afraid, or you think that wasn't a question to be answered? Or it wasn't a question to be answered? It was. Okay. We get calls all the time. A lot of calls from people that are not with us. Some people call and tell on us. Others call to find out what can they do to be with us. Some call to find out just exactly what are we doing as an us. What I'm saying is we get a lot of calls from other people other than you all. It was reported to me no later than this afternoon. It just passed. Matter of fact, this evening almost. Just a brother and his wife went to a meeting that Sister National has been encouraging, and I have told her it was all right for the members to go to in these community meetings and whatnot. So they went. And they were so strikingly different that they had to be addressed. They was confronted. Who are you all? Like the Lone Ranger. Who is that masked man? Well, it's the same thing. We just didn't have a mask on. They got all the masks on because they're not really themselves. So when they saw just them husband and wife come in, they didn't look like nobody else. Although they wore clothes. They're blind. And the statement was made, you don't look like nobody else. Who are you? And I have had to speak with them about marriage and the way they were living it. What I'm saying is, the people that don't know what marriage is, they see you, they have a question right away. What they're really saying, how'd you get to be like that? I don't see no, what made you like that? Man, that's it. Then if they really see you, you can't hardly live together. You're mad with each other. The dialogue is not there anymore. Suspicion rules the marriage. But what they're looking at, they see you as their savior. If I could just be like them, will you make it easy for me to be like that? Like you? Am I talking too much? Well, I'm telling you what's here now and what's going to escalate in that kind of scenario. Everything else that claims to be for the right, for God, for divinity, everything before us has played itself out totally. We now see in the world sees there's no divinity in the black man's effort to make a change for himself, period. Ain't nobody left but us? No one left but us. And I'm not saying there is no one as a particular individual or a couple individuals that don't show righteousness or divinity. However, it's not in a system where it can answer anyone else's thirst for that. So it's you. Now, if you are to appear to the helpless with no blemish, you're going to have to employ being God, black man. You're going to have to do it. Now, if you notice, ever since the messenger brought the message and become the message, he's always said that the black man is God. Not just a man, because you got about 4 other different men or kind of man. But what makes us different, God has added to it. The black man is God. So when you operate from that frame, there is nothing that can deny you, especially your wife. Now, if there's something that you don't like because of your own inability to see it before you got married, that's something you're going to have to deal with in a godly manner to bring it to a change. No wife came to me holy. Is that right? Say that now.
That's right, baby.
They may not be holy now. However, they are at least worthy of my attention because I made it that way. Many brothers see my wives. They don't make no pass at out of respect to me. But if there's any brother in here that would not want a wife like my wife, get out. And this is something that that was spoken in humor. However, there's truth in that. I'm not saying I'm producing my wives for you all to make lust or anything of that nature. No. They're to be made clean and wholesome, pure in righteousness. That's what every black man should want. So they're made that way by me so you know it can be done. Since you can't have mine. So that means you go get you one and do the same thing I did. Right? So you have to do it the way that I have done it and is doing it. You know, and some of you sisters think that you know that you are God himself. Mere thought count for nothing. That's just a thought. There are many things you don't have that we have. And there's nothing that you can do we can't do. You might say, well, we can have a baby, you can't. That's just for now. We can stop you from having babies and come up with a way to have another baby. We will not be denied. So don't get that in your mind, you know, you got something that you can do that we can't. That's impossible. If it can't happen now, it's just for now. Wait until tomorrow. But there's a few things that you don't have it today, and we wait until tomorrow, you ain't gonna have it. You understand? So that foolish thinking that, well, I got just as much as him, and I can do this, and I can think faster, you set up a trap for yourself. Is that understood? And let me say this to your sisters so that you will understand, and brothers also. Do you notice most sisters always get something else in the process of adorning themselves? You don't know what I mean, do you? Well, for those that don't, you sleepy, Mike? Working hard today, huh? Yeah, I understand. You see my wife sitting beside me? Well, Mrs. Allah. Look at her. Earrings, necklace, headband. What is that on the back of your hair? A twist tie. All of these things is adornment. Look at Mr. Allah. Just a suit and bow tie. Other words, what I'm saying is, the sun don't need no adornment. It's the earth that need it. It needs vegetation, greenery, clouds, water. To make any kind of impression, they got to try to lure the God in from their pleasurable look. When all God's got to do is be God. Are you listening to what I'm saying? Of course, we like that. However, the fact of the matter is, it shows that something is missing. You know, the last person that I was married to by the world told me one time we were going to bed, which we had done several nights, go to bed. And she always wore something across her bottom. I don't care how sheer it was always something there. So one night I asked her, I said, why do you do that? Man, suppose I just want to see you naked. She said, it wouldn't be as inviting. And I thought about it. And she got a point. You listening? I mean, I'd go to bed start naked. I mean, I wasn't trying to, hey, this is it. Matter of fact, she'd want me to go that way. Let me me see your pectorals and all the rest of the parts. 2001 parts. Well, she was never like that. Then I thought about it, I said, she got a point. All these things that happen to us as we're growing, these are signs. And if you know how to look at the divinity in it, you can see the reason, like you said, why. And when you got the why, then you can appreciate it. So, just for the fact, most brothers always look at the sisters to find out what's missing. But you can never find it because it ain't there. It's missing. You understand what's being said? That's a big difference. Brothers don't look at each other because, hey, they ain't missing nothing. Unless they queer, and then we get them out of the way real quick. You know, sisters don't want to look at each other because they know, hey, they missing too. But when it gets to the opposite, you be looking and say, man, let me see what she's missing. You can't see it because it's missing. I guess you're all lost. All of this is in nature, and let us know, brother, if you're going to be God, you know why it is missing. And why you can't find it. Why you lack to have it so you can develop something in it to bring forth something that is missing or not missing. That's your doorway into life again. Well, I hope y'all understand. I want to really be comfortable in knowing that wherever you are, as a couple in the sense of being married, or even if it's a brother and sister seen together, you know, biological brother and sister, that you are of such thought that those that actually need help can actually receive it before you have to go and make peace with each other. There should be no brother that's married that will cause your wife to be suspicious of you as though you might not want her anymore. If you're open and truthful and being divine about it, that will bring comfort to them. And if you don't do it and you stay together because, well, if we part, what's going to happen to the children? Or if we part, what's going to happen? Who will I get next? The longer it stays together that way, the more hatred builds up. A barrier starts to develop. If you ever decide to change your mind, you're going to make it right. And since the water holds that thing from the day one, partner, you got a problem. I'm talking to the brothers. Yes, sir. You got that? Yes, sir. I'm not a sister and I never have been, and I don't really desire to be one. But I do know what I would like for one to be. I would like for a sister to be youthful in her thinking, energetic in her movement, pleasant in her speech, knowledgeable in a way of teaching, a master in the kitchen, and a drive for order. And then, if she has accomplished all that with my help, whatever I would like to see her from my physical eyes to be, that will start to take place. You all are not made from a hammer and chisel. You're made from thought. So thought can change you, depending upon the person that's mastering or issuing the thought towards you. And if you decided this is who you want to be with, then that thought process should be accepted. And the process of youth and beauty and happiness can begin. Is that understandable? Who don't understand that? Who would like to share with me what they got from that, sisters? Yes, ma'am. Come on up. Brave sister. You're not married, are you? Are you? Oh, yes, ma'am. We get ready to send her out of town. Oh, wait a minute. What's her husband? Wasn't enough room for y'all? Sit together?
No, sir. I am on security.
Oh, yes, sir. You're securing somebody else, not your wife? Oh, you're securing all of us. Oh, okay. Being humorous. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, sir. What I understand is that there are certain ideas that I would have to put myself in harmony or emotion to be. And then once I put myself in harmony with those ideas, then since thought is what produced me, then Jason will assist, or Jason will change me to be what he would like me to be.
You heard that, Jason? Yeah, I didn't call your name, but it's... So, when I see her 2 years from now, I know that's what you wanted. Okay. Very good. Thank you. So you all got it? Well, I won't hold you. I just wanted to make sure you all got these few keys. And I want to see if you're going to actually put it in motion. Who's behind the camera? Oh, yes, sir. Jackie Wilson. Yes, sir. Okay. How's the baby? Yes, ma'am. Okay. See if I can't raise a son up for her. My son's got to marry somebody and bring him home. 2 days home. Well, you all look very good tonight. If your expression of the truth is the way you look, we're gonna be successful. I posed a question today to one of the concubines that's with me. And the question was this: do you see or think it is time for the wealth in the way of money or a currency for us in the United Nation of Islam? First, she said no. Matter of fact, wouldn't you say no also?
Father. No, sir, Father. Say no.
Just checking. So I asked, why? Because just about everybody we know is getting caught up on little simple things and never get past it. Little simple things. I mean, you didn't look at me right this morning. But they don't say it during the morning. They wait until you get ready to go to bed and things just ain't right. You say, what's wrong with you? Nothing. I mean, y'all experience that? However, I somewhat disagree with that. Because the entity that we have now opened in New Jersey has sparked a drive from the members that are there to enjoy life in that little spot and share it with those that come in that don't know anything about it. So the ones that are there have a place to exercise what they have been taught. Now, in that kind of scenario, or that kind of expression of energy, will start to make you put in check those little simple things. I am of the thinking that the money was not here before, or that kind of currency or power was not here before, because there were not enough of you. If now we're sending quite a few from heaven out to these different places, if we didn't have enough stability here in the way you think and operate, it would fall. In other words, the fractionalizing of you all being sent away, and you're not capable and strong enough here to keep this up, it would fall. Now, you've been in the knowledge long enough for those that are still here, when the numbers become lessened because they have been sent out and dispatched out, you're going to protect what you made. Or is that right? All right. That being the case, I see it where it's about to happen. And before, if the money had came before time, you wouldn't have been grown enough in your thinking to still correct yourself whether you had money or not. Now, since we know money is not really the instrument of salvation, whether we have it or don't have it, you still are required to be right. So if we have it, you're still going to be required to do right. And it would be entrusted with those ones of you that have shown and have the willingness to be right regardless. So all of you all have developed a record while you'll have your stay here in heaven. You all here in heaven, like it is in the sun, no money is used. Here, no money is used by you all as individuals. Outside of heaven, outside of the sun, then something else has to be employed. In this world, it's money. In our world is knowledge and power. I hope you all understand. So, with that being said, quite a few of us are going to be dispatched out within the next 2 to 3 weeks. And based on your excitement here and where you are being dispatched to will determine how quickly the finance comes. Think over that. Would I be in order to ask you to come and speak, say a few words, brother mechanic, electrician? Would you come to the mic and bless us with a few words of inspiration to the activities there that you have so graciously and for all these accolades or something? Make sure that there is something that we can come to.
Oh, yes, sir, Father. Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. It most certainly has been a blessing to have the opportunity to actually participate in the development of this particular entity because just from the initial start of it, since we've been in motion, doing the construction work before the restaurant even opened, we've had individuals coming by, they were seeing what we were doing, and we had some black individuals that come in and let us know they're so happy.
Talk a little slower.
Oh, yes, sir, Father.
I know you're excited, but just a little slower.
Yes, sir, a little slower. They would express it to us that they're so happy to see someone black in the community that is actually doing something because they're used to seeing us in the back rooms or in the kitchens where, we're not really out front doing anything. However, to see someone actually producing something of this caliber, it made them feel good. And they would just like come and saying how proud they were of us to do it. I mean, they were saying it like several times, man, I'm proud of you all. We had people come in want to give us hugs and different things like this. I mean, they were acting and responding in such a way that, we knew their father was in it, but we never seen them react this way before. We had people come by from the police station just from word of the mouth of what we were actually producing. And the word was spreading throughout the police station from the brothers going out to the community with the baked goods and the sandwiches and everything, or how, wonderful everything is. And we had policemen come by in the patrol car just to take a look to see if what people have been talking about is actually matching. And they walk in and we share them what we're about, what we were doing, and they speak about how wonderful it is. And, we've seen some of them actually come out and actually patronize us. And one idea I want to say, I got to say this because this is something I've never seen take place with any other entity, is that the brothers start going to sell the products in City Hall. And they have a no soliciting sign posted in City Hall. No one's supposed to come in there and sell anything. So the brothers start going. First they were on the first floor, and the people saying, y'all ain't even supposed to be here selling anything. So after they start tasting the food, they allowed them to go on the first floor. Then the brothers made it to the second floor. So after they start walking around the second floor, then people actually start seeing them walk past the office with the cart. And they start calling them to the office. So then they made it to the third floor, which is the top floor. Into the mayor's office, the deputy mayor's office and things like that. Now we got City Hall on lock. Praise be the Father. And, not just that, the response that we've been getting from the community has been overwhelming as far as the restaurant. I mean, we got, Brother Mason can contest, we got Caucasians coming there and they ordering bean soup like back to back. Make it spicy, and they speaking, the people come in, we give them a tour of the place, show them, what we're doing and that we're producing this of ourselves, and they just like amazed. I mean, from Caucasians to Puerto Ricans to blacks to whites. I mean, from all nationalities are coming and actually supporting us. The Muslim communities are opening up and they come in, even Orientals. And, for that to happen, because most Orientals that we see, they like to support themselves. In fact, they have an Oriental restaurant that's right across the street that every evening they have a busload of their own people, or 2 or 3 busloads of their own people come and support their restaurant. However, they start to the point now where they see us open across the street. They come in and look in the windows as well as the business, because most Orientals that we see, they like to support themselves. In fact, they have an Oriental restaurant that's right across the street that every evening they have a busload of their own people, or 2 or 3 busloads of their own people come and support their restaurant. However, they start to the point now where they see us open across the street. They come in and look in the windows as well as the business owners are starting to come in. First they used to come in and put their face to the glass, and look in. Then they started, one of them actually came in, one of the patrons that worked there, employees. He went back and started telling the business owner. The business owner came over himself. He went back, brought one of his employees, came back and walked through. Then the woman, the cashier, she came over. She had to see it. And they couldn't just believe what we did with the place. The beauty and everything. And, what they were really seeing, I was explaining this to a brother there, that's so overwhelming because we've seen Caucasians put up different type of structures. However, they're seeing something coming from the mind of a black man because they haven't seen any Caucasians come in and out of the place doing no construction, painting no bricks, hanging no pictures or anything. So they're seeing something come from the black man that they never seen before, and it's just taking them by storm. We're getting into places and opening up doors that, praise be the Father, that have never happened before. And I was sharing with my wife just today that, she's really going to enjoy, because we're going to be leaving in a couple of days, praise be the Father, returning to New Jersey. And I was sharing, she's really going to enjoy it because just the aura of the restaurant, as Father shared, it brings about a spirit up in you. Every time you go in there, the place is beautiful. Me and Brother Mason, we'd be sitting back like, man, this is, this is wonderful. We just want to experience eating it ourselves. Even if it's a bowl of beans, just the aura that the place give off is definitely, I can go on and on. I don't want to take up the whole class, Father. However, there's many ideas that could be covered.
Well, will you express to them what it has done for the members that's there?
Oh, yes, sir, Father.
That we sent there and the ones that were already there.
Yes, sir, absolutely. It's, just as Father said, it's been a rejuvenating thing. In fact, I went to Ms. White and expressed myself. You all know I'm mostly always in work clothes, but even myself, I had to put on some slacks and a dress shirt, got in there, got to serving, greeting the customers and everything like that. And it was a wonderful experience and a refreshing change. So all of the members that have been participating in this, everybody's been fired up. The brothers going out in the community, they doing well. However, it's just has rejuvenated our spirit from just having to participate inside the restaurant itself. Our Brother Mason, you all mostly see Brother Mason dealing with things in the way of, I don't call the names, Father. However, Brother Mason was dealing in cleaning or moving and things. Brother Mason's in the dish room, and he had them dishes coming in there, humping in and out. As soon as they come from the kitchen, we getting them back and everything. So it's making everything go in a timely manner. Even got into a kitchen one day. I put an apron on, got in there and assisted with the brothers and everything. And the spirit, of Brother Amir, Brother Trinity, Brother Kai was in there. We had one brother on the fryer. He was taking care of that. We had one brother was on the grill, taking care of that and dishing up the place. And Brother Trinity and Ms. White was standing out front, expediting. And I was doing what I can, keeping everything refilled because when I walked in there, every seat except for maybe about one seat was filled up. So we strapped on an apron and, I just constantly, the brothers would run out of mayonnaise. I'm back there dicing up onions, just keeping them refilled so they won't have to constantly do those small things. However, just the, us working in that type of rhythm together, even after it was done, Brother Mills said, that's the type of system that we need, and type of rhythm that we need, to actually make things happen. So it has definitely, rejuvenated those of us that's there, and really inspired us to want to do more, and we already talking about, we haven't shared with Father, but, we need a bigger place, so, hey, praise to the Father.
That's it? Y'all got enough? Thank you. Yes,
Thank you, Father.
Yes, sir. Well, the divinity in this is that it comes directly from us, from the floor up. The place that we got was only a shell. It was nothing else. Was that right, Brother Minister? It was nothing. Everything in there, we had to take it out, carry it out, get rid of it. It was not usable. Everything. So the brothers went in and redid the whole thing. Redesigned it, put everything in it from them. Like our brother just said, nobody seen anybody going in and out of there doing anything except black folk. Intelligent black folk, people that had their pants pulled up. Okay. So that is, white folks is not as dumb as they pretend to be. They look and say, whoops, there they are. But they're so small and so wanted, we're going to help them. Now, if they get too big, we have to find out where their power really lies. That's the same thing that's supposed to happen here. Every business that we got, we're going to level that boy here. and put up something that I want to see. Because over in the east, they're going to have to still come here. You get that? The sun rose in the west, remember? And it said, as the lightning shines from the east to the west. So come, okay. So they're going to have to come at least midway. Hope you all understand it. So since this is already in the making and people are already seeing us, they're seeing Miss White, they're seeing, they're seeing my wives, they're seeing the concubines, they're seeing the children, they're seeing the people that's working there, and all of them are somewhat professional compared to what they call professional. They're not just professional at what they do. They look professional in the way of God. So when they see you all, I want them to see the same thing. You got it? So you have the same opportunity as I do in making your water represent you or reflect you. And remember, black man, when you go look in the water, if it's got a black bottom to it, it's going to show you yourself. Is that right? If it's clear, you might not see yourself. That's the way you want it. You don't understand that, do you? Who said no? Okay. You've seen these Dracula movies and whatnot? When he looks into the mirror, you can't see him. You know, you be standing up and they show you where he's making love to the woman or they give her the love talk and they stand in front of the mirror and she looks, she can't see him. But he's right there. What makes the mirror, it's got to have something black behind the glass. So since his heart is all filled up with blackness, he's nothing but darkness, he blends in with the darkness so you can't see him. So if you got some dirty water, and you look into it and you see yourself, that means you got a job to do to clean your wife up. In other words, this is what this means. When you confront her and she's always got something, well, you ain't this and you that, and you should be ashamed of something. I'm going to tell her, it's all you coming back from her, bam, 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 bam. But when you look at her, how you greet me, baby?
Assalamu alaikum, baby.
You see, I don't see myself in a sense where it's from dirt. I don't see myself that way. I see her have already calculated it, digested it, and give back to me what's pleasing to me. So I see her, but it's really me. It's clear. You understand it now? All right then. So we shall see what we see. I'm holding you brothers accountable, and I'm not letting the sisters off the hook, but I'm holding you brothers accountable for what I shall see. All right? If there's nothing else that should be said, or you'll have to say to me, I'm going to leave you, so you'll go and start this practice, and maybe tomorrow I'll ride around in my chariot and take a look to see if it's working. Assalamu alaikum.